Welcome to Turning Point Tonight, where we are charting the course of America's cultural comeback. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're doing things a little bit differently because later on we're going to bring you Matt Walsh and Charlie Kirk in Atlanta last night, conversation that I think you're going to love and need to hear. So by doing things a little bit differently, we're just going to run through these stories as quickly as possible, but also still have some fun with them. Here to do that with us is Chris Hand, host of the Chris Hand Show on radio in the Nashville area. Chris, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is my favorite show on TV.
I really appreciate that. Actually, we just learned this. This show is the #1 show on Real America's Voice in this time slot. So it's a fantastic compliment. We love to say it. So to get right into what's going on in the day, let's play this first clip and we'll well up with tears together and react.
And splashdown, Crew 9 back on Earth.
Awesome. Wait for that.
SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
Copy, splashdown. We see main chutes cut. Nick, Alex, Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
It just makes me feel so good. Chris, I'll tell you this. I'm so excited that Hitler was able to save those astronauts that have been stuck in space for the last several months, which is what the headlines would say if you were reading one of the Lib articles. Elon Musk's SpaceX finally rescued those astronauts after being told they couldn't during the past administration. Finally, President Trump gave him the okay. Despite the political divide, don't you think that this is something that we can all get together on and be like, this is cool. This is objectively cool.
Yeah, we should be able to come together and think this is cool. Could you imagine if during the original moon landing, half of the country said, well, it wasn't my party, so I don't really like what you're doing?
True.
No, that would never happen. And with Joe Biden, he had the opportunity. He wanted to be the unity president. He said that on numerous occasions before calling us trash and deplorables. But he had the opportunity to enlist Elon Musk and do just this, save these astronauts. He chose not to. Donald Trump gets the win. Half the country is mad, but this is an American moment. We should be able to come together and celebrate this. And how cool was it seeing those dolphins circling that capsule when they landed in the ocean?
Yeah, that was awesome. I remember the first time Elon sent astronauts up into space, watching that, and at the time he was a lib, I think, and
Yes.
I was still excited about it. As an American doing cool American things, and despite the political divide, I was excited for it. So hopefully the libs can come around and just recognize that, hey, this is just objectively cool no matter who you are. Speaking of somebody who is not cool with something, I want to get your thoughts on this. We all saw the JFK files being released. President Trump finally released them. The media had a field day with it. If you want some in-depth, deep dive analysis, go watch Charlie Kirk's show or Steve Bannon or somebody else on the Rav Network. They're probably diving in much more deeply than we're about to here. The funniest thing, though, of all of that I think I saw was this TMZ headline that said JFK's grandson slams the Trump administration for not giving the family advanced warning about the files release. To which I had to say, what kind of a rock do you have to be living under to not know that President Trump was going to release the JFK files? We have been asking for these for decades. How are you upset about this?
Yeah, and I would say, hey, pal, go talk to your uncle, because when Trump signed the executive order, he handed the pen and said, this is for RFK. It was a campaign promise, like the entire campaign. I mean, I think it was a campaign promise in 16 and 15. You should have known that this was coming. And I just want to salute our weaponized autists out there going through these 80,000 documents. I myself have 4 kids, 2 dogs, and a wife, and I don't have the time to do it. But I just want to shout out to the guys that are. The big things that I've learned from the documents so far is Oswald acted alone, Andy acted with the KGB, Andy acted with Cuba, Andy possibly acted with Israel and the CIA. And it may have not happened at all.
I think the biggest thing here that we can learn is that maybe it's libs don't like campaign promises being fulfilled, because this has been a campaign promise for a long time, and maybe that's his real thing. Hold on, how dare the president of the United States actually fulfill a campaign promise? We don't do that on the Democrats' side, so you shouldn't be able to do it too. Here, maybe that's why he's upset. Speaking of some people who are upset, I want to play you this Tim Walz clip in the limited time we've got. Watch this, and this is Tim Walz saying he gets excited. He's happy that Tesla stock is tanking. Watch this.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you.
Regardless of your political ideology or political leanings, you should never root for the downside of American individuals as a whole. Like if there's a Democrat president, I don't like what he's doing, but I also don't root for the economy to tank. Tim Walz also forgot that apparently, most Americans probably who have 401ks probably have Tesla stock, so that's hurting them. Chris, your thoughts on rooting for the downfall of an American company for some reason?
My initial reaction is, weren't you just saying that federal workers shouldn't be fired last week? Like when an accountant at the State Department gets let go, that's a tragedy. But when a company has over 100,000 employees and they're making products here in America, you're rooting for that to fail? It doesn't make any sense, yet nothing this man does makes much sense at all. And he's just kind of illustrating the reason why the majority of America didn't vote for you and didn't vote for Kamala, because we're America first, you're America last. It is exemplified time after time after time. We dodged so many bullets. Tim Walz is one of those.
Yeah, I again, I don't root for the American people to fail in any capacity, regardless who is in office. Obviously, we can criticize what's going on in the policies, but rooting against the American people, that's just stupid. Chris Hand, thanks so much for running through those headlines with us today. Really appreciate you to coming on.
Hey, anytime, man. Love the show.
Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Monica Page, live from the White House. Monica, yesterday there were some protests outside, which you sent along some footage, which we'll show the viewers as you're talking about it. But explain to us what's going on. What were the protests saying? What are they trying to get across? How angry were they on a scale of how angry the libs are generally speaking? What was going on last night?
I'd say the libs are generally maybe around a solid 6 to 8 on an easy day. But last night, I think it was a little bit more escalated. I mean, they were loud last night. They had a giant protest outside the White House last night from about, it really started ramping up around 7 p.m. Eastern time, and it went on well into around 10 p.m. Eastern time as well. But there were a few stragglers in the afternoon as well. And we did hear a couple of protesters just this afternoon while the briefing was happening. I could kind of hear them through the walls this afternoon. Not many, but they're loud. They have their megaphones. So what they really wanted was they wanted the United States to stop sending money to Israel, and basically blaming the United States for the fact that Israel is defending itself. I mean, we have seen Gaza and Hamas really not adhere to the ceasefire rules. They haven't been releasing the hostages as they promised that they would. So Israel is defending itself. It's doing what it said it will, weeding out any sort of roots of terrorism. And these groups that we've seen last night, and honestly throughout the entire Biden administration as well, since October 7th, were outside the White House last night. I did see Hamas flags, which was very startling. I saw terrorist kind of garb and headbands and Hamas flags. Yeah, it was very startling. So these people, are they really about peace? They are chanting death to America, free Mahmoud Khalil, that activist that they want, that this administration wants to deport for being so anti-America. So very interesting scenes last night. They'll probably continue this afternoon. Definitely stay tuned. But yeah, I mean, that's the mood on the ground as of recent.
So it sounds like what you're saying is we should probably send that video clip over to Tom Homan and make sure everyone's immigration status is, they're here, they're citizens of the United States and not on some dumb student visa or illegally entered the country. Also, I think President Trump talked to Zelensky on the phone today regarding the Russia agreement, conversation, what's going on in the Russia-Ukraine war. Tell us about that.
Yep. So as we know, President Trump spoke to Russian President Putin yesterday on the phone, a very positive conversation. They both agreed that Putin and Russia will stop attacking Ukrainian infrastructure, energy infrastructure sites in the region. And they both agreed that this war should have never happened, and that they both have a common end, that peace needs to be established in this region. So just this afternoon, President Trump following up with Zelensky saying, hey, I just had this conversation with Putin. Where do you stand on all these kinds of things that we spoke about, and it seemed to have gone very well. I mean, both sides seem to be very happy with the agreement that Russia was going to stop attacking these specific sites in Ukraine. They both want peace. This moved in a pretty positive direction. I mean, it wasn't like one step forward, two steps back, from my understanding, but it definitely seems that there could be peace in the near future based on these conversations with both leaders.
Yeah, that'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. Anything else going on at the White House that we should be aware of? I know it's kind of a busy, frantic day. I know we got the readout from President Putin. It kind of seems like everything's kind of smooth sailing, or at least as smooth as it could be. Anything that you're looking forward to later on this week?
Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on what the schedule will look like tomorrow. But we do know that later this week, President Trump will be flying to, I believe it's Philadelphia, is going to the NCAA wrestling tournament.
Mm.
So he'll be in attendance for that this weekend. But as of right now, we do not know what the schedule will be until maybe early tomorrow morning or late tonight. So it's always a surprise here at the White House, but we're always happy to adjust where needed for sure.
Awesome. Monica Page, Turning Point's White House correspondent. Monica, thanks so much for joining us. Awesome. Now, I know we usually go into another panel segment and talk about the news of the day, but we were going to treat you to something special. Last night, Charlie Kirk was in Atlanta with Matt Walsh having a really interesting discussion that we thought you all should hear. So that is coming up right after this. Don't go away. Turning Point Tonight will be right back with Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh. See you on the other side.